And welcome, Internet, to the Foolish Tech Show, where we will help out with support or any questions you may have, or just go over some interesting tech content that we come up with to fill the time. So today, we're going to be focusing on remote management tools, some of the options out there, and some of the things you can do to make it work for you, kind of thing. And have a couple to go over there, but before we do, did anyone else want to note anything that they've come up with or gone over or anything of that nature? Bueller?
Nothing I can think of.
Bueller?
No, I'm good, but
Okay.
Bueller.
All right. Well, Proctor, I'm probably going to be picking on you a lot since you have your own company, and I assume you have some managed service contract ones, right? Or...
Yeah. I mostly just use TeamViewer.
Okay. So you don't do any like active management of their computers. You just remote in when they need help and that style service contract?
Yeah, mostly. I'm looking into some other software. I'm actually interested in your show today. See if I can learn some stuff.
So I found this first page, and also if you're joining us from Google Plus or YouTube, you can jump over to foolishit.com/live or foolishtechshow.com, and you'll be able to join in our live chat there. And if you do that, you can talk directly to us and we'll answer any questions you have, or if you have any comments, feel free to add them in as well. And to start off here, I'm going to go ahead and post in our live chat this first page I came up with, which is 4 immediate benefits to becoming a managed service provider and ditching break fix. And that's an article title. I just wanted to see if we could spend some time talking about these 4 things and how they can help improve and why that would be a difference between managed service provider and a break fix it person. So the first one is monthly recurring revenue. And I think this is probably the biggest thing on becoming a managed service provider, because your day-to-day benefits of a break-fix company are kind of all by chance, really, because you don't know if someone's computer is going to break this month and then not ever break again, or if they're going to even bring it back to you versus taking it to another shop or wherever the best deal is at the time, or if they got a coupon to somewhere, trying that place out. So lots of different things go into break fix that make it so your revenue isn't easily projectable. The nice bit about being a managed service provider is that you have a set amount that you're going to be expecting. So either be on a monthly or annual basis, you can kind of bank on that money type of thing. So that's definitely a big plus to that, knowing that you're going to get, I mean, it's better to know that you're going to get $100 out of them for a year versus maybe getting one virus scan a year and getting $150. Like, I feel it's better to be able to bank on that versus not knowing. Proctor.
Yeah, one of the issues running a small tech shop is wondering if you're going to bring in enough money each month just to meet your expenses, your overhead.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the recurring revenue from contracts, it makes it a lot easier to budget and takes a lot of the stress out of your life. Worrying if you're going to be able to make ends meet.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of the I mean, that's, yeah, like you said, the biggest stress factor is probably knowing if you have enough. And if you get enough people on a contract, then you're able to bank on that because they're bound by the contract and rules and things like that. One thing I'd like to go ahead and throw out, though, is it's definitely not just you jump into it and start making tons of money off of it. I found that being a service provider, you're going to have to do more of the, which is the next point on here, client relationship style things, as well as the contract overhead and making sure the terms are beneficial for both the client and, more importantly, you. Because one thing you don't want to do is start selling monthly contracts that's going to overwhelm you, and you're going to end up losing money via time spent on something that you're not making that much off of. So, for example, you may have it so that you get, let's just say $10. So your annual contract is $120. They pay $10 a month. And you offer them like an hour worth of repair time every month or something like that. You don't want to end up spending 5 hours on someone paying you $10 for that month, or even $120 for that year. You want to be able to limit that sum and try to take into account your odd situations where you might need to spend extra time with somebody under that and lose some money on it, but you want to make sure that you're gaining money off of it more often than not.
I think another important thing, Brantley, is to make sure when you establish a new contract that the client is at a particular level and things are working fairly well before you go in there and try to manage it.
Definitely, very
true. You don't want to walk into a disaster and have to fix the disaster
on that contract
on a monthly rate.
Yeah.
You'll never make any money that way.
That may be part of what you have to think about, and these are some of the things that go into making sure that this works out well. Definitely, I wouldn't recommend like just setting up a contract and offering it to everyone. Probably have a few clients, like if you have a business that you work with all the time and you're basically managing their computers and they're spending X amount of dollars per month, take that as your example test client for your managed service providing and say, look, on average you spend this amount of money per month with me and I spend this amount of time with you. Can we set it up so that you're spending a little bit less per month, but you're guaranteeing that amount every month, and I'm guaranteeing you this amount of time every month? You can kind of work it out like that. We do have a question in the chat from guest 50872.
And the way the customer benefits is their systems are well maintained on a regular basis as opposed to things being unchecked, unmaintained, and only addressing problems when there's a train wreck.
So my biggest push for it would be you're not going to notice that your hard drive's starting to go bad. But Windows does log an event about a disk error in the event log long before you get to the critical point of you're not able to use your hard drive anymore. Most people on a regular system are going to wait until they can't use their computer anymore, or they just have so many errors and corruptions and problems, it's going to be not as worthwhile to fix. Where if you're in a managed solution...
I'm sorry, this sounded like it was going to go on for a while. And hey, everybody in internets. I just came across a shocking realization, and I do apologize for interrupting, but I'm about to go away. So, did anyone happen to notice that Hangout Toolbox is working? Or anyone hear me say Farfignugan really loud a couple of times?
We did not hear you say Farfignugan.
Okay, then Hangout Toolbox is working now.
The away and muting?
The away mode, the muting you, the muting me, all of it.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Anyway, back to it.
Awesome.
Sorry.
So basically what I was saying is that the big benefit is being able to catch things before they become a major problem. Because if you start seeing those disk errors in the event log, you can say, hey, we need to go ahead and clone this drive before it goes bad. And clone it to a new drive. It takes you an hour worth of time to do all of that, and you sell the hard drive. But then that customer doesn't have to worry about that issue at all. And they don't have to worry about getting to the point where their hard drive is basically failed and they have to send it off to data recovery to get their pictures or their important documents back, which can be much more than what an hour of any of our time would be, basically. Another question from 50872 is, what foolish IT software could be used and how? And we're going to be getting into some of the different options there, but just to answer your question right off, is dSupportSuite will probably be the one that you would want to look at. And I'm going to go over some of the reasons why you might not want to look at that and might want to look at one of the large corporation setups as well. So stay tuned for more on that answer, 50872. I do want to talk about some of the other points here. And the second point on that page was that it offers better client relationships. So if you're the primary IT person for that business and they know they can call you for any type of issue and they're covered under a contract, it makes it look much better on you. You have a much better relationship with them. You can work with them a lot more of the time. Most of the time, especially if you present it like they're getting an extremely good deal from it. Which, for the most case, you can offer things like one-time services during each contract, and when it renews, it revamps those. Because you can offer unlimited. I've heard of a lot of MSPs that offer unlimited virus removals. And basically what they're doing is they're setting the system up and making sure it has good antivirus and it's always up to date, has good anti-malware and does scans regularly. And then it's highly unlikely that they're going to get viruses, so that offering the time for a virus removal is not a big issue or deal. The other bit of it would be that you're able to I completely forgot where I was going with that. So 50872 says the live stream is broken. Let's see what that looks like. It looks like they might have lost internet. So yeah, because the live stream's not frozen here. So yeah, something on that person set up there. The other
If they
option,
had a managed service provider, that might not have happened.
yeah, they might have known. The other two options it has is the offering more services and earn more revenue, which that's where I was going with that, is if you offer unlimited virus removals and they only need one virus removal for that year, you're still probably making your amount off them. And it's highly unlikely that everyone's going to always have tons of virus issues, so you can always go back and set it up so that you limit it to a certain number of viruses per year. But more often than not, you'll sign up a client and they won't have any viruses or issues or problems throughout that whole year. Maybe next year they have 5 and it balances out, but that's kind of where you have to put the tracking and things like that in place. And then proactively preventing IT issues, so that, like I said, with the hard drive, you catch that issue before it becomes a major problem. Or even with the malware, you can catch that malware stuff going. So guest is having some issues watching the live stream, but I tested it and was able to see it. Does anyone else want to test and make sure they can see the live stream as well?
I'll check it out.
So we can go ahead and probably jump into what some of the options out there for managed services are.
I'm not having any issues with the live feed.
Yeah, I don't think there is any. So,
Okay.
Guest says we're back. So
yeah. So the first one we want to talk about is ours, and that's the dSupportSuite. And as Proctor had mentioned on his show, there are a lot of updates coming up on it.
Yo, working fine for me, the live stream on the website.
Yep.
I didn't go to YouTube though, but
cool. So Proctor had mentioned on, I think, Monday that he's waiting until the next version of dSupportSuite, which there will be a lot more options. But right now it is a full package of what you can use for RMM management. There are some downsides which we're already looking at fixing for the next version. Tracking everything goes through emails, so that can be somewhat of a task to manage, as well as managing your client setups can be a little bit daunting task. But it can all be done right now with it. It is currently a one-time purchase option, so that's a big difference than what you're going to see on some of these other options I have. And it can do things like tracking the event log and emailing you if there's an issue with the event log. It can also do things like running tools automatically for you, has white labeling options so that you can see everything. And I should be able to start up a machine here and we can actually show off dSupportSuite. Nick or Proctor, y'all want to go over any more of the features on dSupportSuite from a RMM?
The automated maintenance part of it is a big help, a big time saver. I have used DSS to support some of the MSP clients.
I would only do a few. I mean, it's not really set up for a large amount right now, and that's one of the major issues that we're going to tackle is that was the categorization and management of mass clients.
Large.
Yeah, that's an issue. So
for right now, it is more of a kind of it's set up and works type thing.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, see, and mainly the main part of it is the alerting. The alerting is currently, I mean, obviously we're going to take it to another level at some point, but currently it's just email alerting. So you better have a good set of filters or rules or whatever they're called in whatever you're using, because you're going to need to divert some emails based on keywords to certain folders of importance and clients and things like that. It's not really for MSP right now.
That's why I was saying you can get away with it, but
yeah, you can get away, but it's not for that. It wasn't for that to begin with, and although it can do a lot like that, so it's kind of neat, but it can't do that whole real-time like web interface thing. That is something that obviously we do want to look at doing at some point, now that we know the capabilities that it has and the ideas that we have for its usage. Yeah, it would rival MSP software, and yeah, we would be cheaper and still and better, but more focused in, I think, maybe on I think I would imagine that we would be more focused on the obviously the do-it-yourself or the person who wants a to MSP people, small businesses, things like that, not necessarily, or even internal business and company like that. I just don't think we would be more focused, I guess, on those the smaller client, because we wouldn't have all of the a lot. Actually, and a lot of them are fluff options that a lot of the MSP software does have. That, like, I mean, like, some people don't care about patch management, which is fluff to some people, and that's not exactly that's not what I'm talking about when I say fluff. But some people don't use it at all. Well, we don't have it, and so that's another thing. You can do patch management through a third party, and you can control that software through dSupportSuite.
Yeah.
But dSupportSuite itself doesn't do the patch management. Now, that may change too. Who knows? I have dSupportSuite was based off of D7 technology, and everything I did in and it was supposed to be a digital business card with a purpose. And the purpose was maintenance, automated maintenance for the customer, and the digital business card is the idea that the customer has your logo on their computer and your phone number, and they'll call you when something doesn't work, because when dSupportSuite doesn't fix something, because it just might fix something for them, and they'll be bound to come back to the app, maybe when
Well,
things go wrong, or maybe we can even have it, and I have some plans on some other things, like it popping up automatically for certain things, but in any case, the point is it's supposed to get the customer back to you, and it wasn't really supposed to be an MSP thing. But as we add more options to it, certainly it may be one day. But right now, there are things it misses, like the patch management and everything else. It just has a custom app system where you can add other apps. I'm done. Sorry, Brantley. That's all I had to add.
That's what I was going for, is that it can help in that term of managed support side of it, is that basically you get this on each of your clients' computers. So if they're having an issue, they can start this app up and run some quick task on the left here that you can set up and customize. And then you can also have it so it goes and emails you directly if there's a problem, and even attaches a diagnostics and pictures of what's on their screen when they email you. So that's kind of the nice side of it, is it's kind of gives them a tool so that they feel like they're getting value from their maintenance contract, because they don't have to call you for something like a fix internet, where it clears out their proxy setting, clears their internet and reconnects it, kind of thing.
This is bothering the crap out of me. Brantley, you have the oldest, even the logo in the background is all. We need to fix this crap now. Come on now, man. But the dSupportSuite thing, you probably don't have mine, but mine uses a full-length banner instead of the text on the right. And maybe different people differ, but I want people to know that you have the option of putting a full banner logo starting from where the little guy and the computer monitor and wrench are right now in that circle. That from there all the way to the right edge, you can have a bitmap cover all of that, or JPEG or PNG or whatever, and PNG use transparent background, and it'll blend in, and that will be so you can do that right now. You don't have to have the text. I think the text is ugly, and you can make it also go to your website or somewhere when they click the logo too. So
yeah,
I just think the text is ugly. Sorry.
That's fine. I was just showing off the stuff that you can
yeah.
do on this
side.
This
okay.
is just a demo setup of it.
Because, why not put your phone number in the bitmap? Some people don't actually think about that, and I didn't think about that at one time. And then finally when I did, I was like, oh, why didn't I think about that? And so now I tell other people. I'm not holding it against you, but sometimes people don't think about that. Put the phone number in the bitmap.
Yeah. But it kind of gives them a tool that they can use to quickly fix some things, or it also helps you get quickly connected. Being able to tell them to reboot their system into safe mode with networking. You just tell them to open up this app and say reboot to safe mode or something like that. They click that, it reboots in safe mode with networking, then maybe you can start up your remote support tool and connect to them quickly and get their system fixed and back up working in normal mode again. So it's kind of like an easy like Nick said, it's more focused for the single small time places that you don't really have to fully manage their system, but you can get some alerts for it, do some additional things to prevent databases, and scheduled tasks for a custom app system there. So you do get a lot of benefit out of dSupportSuite, but again, it's not a full-featured one like some of these other ones that we'll end up talking about here. But it is a good option. It does come at a good price, and if it meets all of your needs, you can get it to work for everything you need it to do right now. And the next version is only going to be even better and more powerful, so no reason not to go ahead and get into it now. The next one is one that we've gone over in a show previously, and this one also is not designed specifically for managed service providers, but it does give you some options for it, and we have a thing for Spiceworks, so we'll like advertising them anytime we can. But basically, their help desk software is free for anyone to use, and it does do IT asset management. So you can do some of your patch management and software management and license management and various different things with assets through it. The way you would set it up if you're doing managed service providing is you would set up your own network first and then do the multi-site support, so that you'd set up another site at a client's and that site would report back to your main one here. And you could even use the ticket and task system so that they can submit tickets directly to you. And this route would kind of replace both your ticketing system and your give you an RMM solution kind of all in one. So that is kind of a nice feature about that. There are some other ticketing systems that integrate with your other RMM tools that we'll go over here, but we're not going to spend too much time on these ones because they're really not designed for that. The next one is one that we've used before, which is MaxFocus, which used to be GFI Max. And this one is designed to be a full managed service provider platform, and you can do things like active discovery, automated monitoring, and you get a web dashboard to do all of that in, patch management system, remote access built in, asset and inventory tracking, some reports. You can do managed antivirus directly through it, so anyone that you install this client to, you can push out the antivirus to them. Online backups, even do mobile device management with it. And looks like they even give you a service desk. Is that to... Yeah, so they can give you a ticketing system inside of it as well. So this one gives you quite a lot on there. And looks like they have some other applications you can add on. But basically the whole point of them is to be able to manage things and focus on things. I think MaxFocus does things by seats. So each computer or mobile device you install it on would be one seat. So you would have to adjust your contract rates to make sure you took into account how much each seat was going to cost you. And if you have things like the antivirus and the backup, that makes each seat a little bit more expensive. So you can give people options if they want to do managed antivirus, or if they have their own backup solution, you can mix and match what services you offer for them. So that's a pretty good one. We liked it. We really didn't need most of the features that were on there, so we've switched off of using them for what we were using them for. So overall, though, the biggest thing about this one and any of these MSP setups is you are going to have a lot of configuration and setup and things to think about and probably go back and change after you've actually put it into production use. So again, my recommendation, if you want to get into this type of setup, start off small, pick one of the businesses that you like working with and work with all the time, and then kind of base it off them, and then expand that. So you take your best customer that you like doing this for and try to get more of them. That's only going to make your job easier and better in the future. So another one that has a big name is Kaseya. And Nick, didn't you say you had played around with this one before?
Um, yes, I used that at one point. When I was doing my own thing, just me, single teching it. I was doing Kaseya for my people, and I liked it. I did it because it was super cheap compared to I had been using level platforms, which was super simple but relied on WMI, and so many workstations didn't have working WMI or permissions or for some reason or another or wasn't on domain or whatever. But Kaseya had a little client that installs on every other system. It's way better than stuff like I still even like as I remember from 10 years ago or what, I don't know when. I mean, okay, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, 8 years ago, maybe. As I remember, though, from then, it's still better than GFI.
Cool.
I mean, it allows you to run, or did at some point, allowed you to run applications on the remote system. Like LabTech does. I know LabTech does that as well. A couple others, but like GFI doesn't. It's weird. You can't do Jimmy rig it up or something. But the yeah, so that's way, way, way better. I actually had a plan for dSupportSuite to at least do that. I don't know how well that's going to work as far as a client on that end checking into a server. I haven't worked out that system, of sync yet, so I don't know what like the push time would be or how instant it would be, but I am looking at doing that where you could like deploy and run executables on a remote platform. That's my big thing because I don't really care what the I'll be honest. That's what I want remote monitoring for. Although, granted, I wrote some of the software I would use for remote monitoring instead, or just because I have, but or because I was capable of it. But that's all I want it for is really to run an executable on the remote system without the user having to be interrupted. That's what I want it for, RMM. So, or automatically being able to remote into the system without having to call the user for a password and all that other mess, which this TeamViewer thing. But anyway, so there's so many. Yeah, that's what I want remote software for. So. RMM and stuff. I want it for those two things. I want to run an executable over there under system account without the user being bothered, and I want to be able to, maybe, I don't know, browse the file system registry wouldn't hurt either, but, beyond that, I just want to control process. I don't know, you can do a lot, really, but once I can get an executable on the system, I can go from there anyway, so that's what I want. And I want remote control. So.
Okay.
I don't care so much about the other junk. That can fall into place later. But anyway.
So you can see that these places do offer free trials, and that would definitely be recommended so that you can play around with it a little bit first before you even deploy it on that test client and see what you can do with the different options, because each one is set up a little bit differently, gives you a different interface, gives you a couple different items and things that you can and can't do. So it definitely would be recommended to just play around with them, see which one fits best for your situation and what you're trying to do. And again, it kind of falls back to you need to have a good plan going forward of what you want to offer, how much you can offer with it, and what you can do for it. This next one we have is LabTech, and I think it's this LabTech Cloud that we want to look at. But basically, it's another option. I have heard of a lot of techs that like using LabTech, and we even have someone that's develops a plugin for LabTech for our Dion installer premium version.
Which will be updated for the functionality of that in the new Killamall that will be released soon. Also, by the way, the tech scripting edition, but
Yep. So
which the Dion installer people get.
this is another option that you can check into. Again, you can see it has a free trial. So that, from my standpoint, those are probably the three you would want to look into and see which one you like the best, is the MaxFocus, the Kaseya, and the LabTech. There's several other options out there, but then it starts getting into basically that's all you're focused on and you kind of already have a plan. I know Enable is one like that, where you kind of already need to have a bunch of clients out there to be able to support getting into Enabled, and then being able to dedicate the time to setting it up and managing it. And basically, from my standpoint, it seems like something like Enable is more for when you want to host it yourself and you want to manage everything, and that's all you're going to be doing is managing other computers. That's when something like Enable comes into place. Also, through my research, I found out that Level Platforms has actually been purchased by AVG. And they just have a Level Platforms partners login page now. So.
Oh wow!
I don't even know.
So they don't even. They're just like, hey, we'll just use your software, and that's that.
Pretty much.
Just us. That's that.
I'm not sure if ConnectWise is going to combine ConnectWise and LabTech. I do see that this is LabTech by ConnectWise. I know that I thought LabTech was its own company as well as ConnectWise being its own company. I don't think
that's I don't think it's that new, but I think it's still new. That's not original as far as I understand.
What?
I thought LabTech was from Continuum originally.
Yeah. I think this is just the focused portion with ConnectWise, because I know that LabTech was a big integration partner with ConnectWise. So
well, it seems like there was something at Spiceworld about that. I thought they merged it, and we found that out at Spiceworld or something.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or something.
Yeah, I think they'd already merged when we were in Austin.
Yeah, or were purchased or whatever. Yeah, because I seem to remember learning that there. ConnectWise business. Are you serious? Wait a minute. Do you see? Did I just see Screen Connect there too?
That's one of the options.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I don't think ConnectWise bought LabTech. I think it's just one of their
partners.
Setup options, yeah, and partners.
Or setup? Oh, setup. Okay.
So that's what I was thinking. I know that LabTech
has
done a lot of integration options with them.
What? Oh.
So might as well just be a full-time partner than just saying you're a integration partner or something.
See, the ConnectWise acquires Screen Connect.
Did they buy Screen Connect?
Yeah. They did indeed. Apparently. Where did I just see that? Oh yeah. Can't remember nothing. Fuck is this? CRN.com.
Interesting. That's something that a lot of techs like, is using Screen Connect. So they did that back in February.
Yeah.
But did they acquire LabTech?
It says here, ConnectWise, which owns an equity stake in LabTech software, plans to integrate Screen Connect with LabTech.
Hmm.
This is February 12th of this year, by the way, so we're up on it, huh? But
Yeah, they were actually
LabTech is a separate company. It says LabTech said the deal addresses a major issue in the platform and believes the customer base will grow because of it.
Yeah. So it looks like ConnectWise is going to integrate Screen Connect into LabTech, and LabTech's going to benefit from it. While
Yeah, and
ConnectWise
you
is
know,
going to integrate
yeah,
with it.
you know who claims they have a never mind.
It looks like they've actually been capital investors in LabTech since back in 2010, so they have a long and fruitful relationship with LabTech.
That's good. That's cool. That's
So
cool.
I think they are already combined.
I did not realize Screen Connect was based in Raleigh, and I drive by them all the time.
Huh.
It said Raleigh, North Carolina. I was like, what?
So what were some of the things that were holding you back that we can talk about, Proctor? Come on, put you on the spot.
Some of the products were cost prohibitive, and then just finding exactly what fit best.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, another MSP product is called Manage Engine. I learned about it at when we were at Spiceworld.
Yeah, I've looked at that one before. It's probably a lot more complicated than Kaseya or LabTech.
I remember. Oh, that I will say is Level Platforms was super simple when I used it, and I don't even if it's any usable anymore. But Kaseya, when I switched to that, it was a learning curve. It was a good learning curve. Kaseya was like the D7 of it was a learning curve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because there was just a flurry but there was a flurry of things to do. I guess that's the point. There were so many. It was like so many things opened up, but compared to before. But anyway, it's all. I don't have a good recommendation on any because I don't know Kaseya. I remember it being good. I just quit using it because I quit doing it.
Well, I guess I would say let's start from the starting point of are you looking to offer contracts for home users, like kind of like computer insurance, so that they can rely on that and pay you a monthly bit for it for you being on call kind of thing, or are you looking?
No. I was looking to manage small to medium-sized businesses.
Okay. And was it going to be like a set number of seats that you're looking to take on, or just however many systems they have? And
probably clients with at least 5 computers. I mean, if you go any lower than that, it's not as beneficial for the client or for the service provider.
Yeah.
Probably around an average of 15, 20 computers.
Okay. So, and I think most of the basis is like you're going to be paying between $5 to $15 to $20 per seat. Is usually how I've seen them average their pricing out, and that's depends on if you integrate the antivirus or the backup solution, things like that. So, like if you just say $5 a seat, and then say that you have to make your markup on it, so let's just say $10 a seat. So that way you're covering the seat that you're getting, and you're covering some of the time that you would put towards that. So if you go $10 a seat, do you think that you would be able to sell that to your clients? And what type of services would you offer them for that $10 a seat?
Actually have some contracts now. I'm charging $20 per seat per month.
Okay. So easily make that amount from it.
Yeah.
Curiosity, what are you using and what do you do? I haven't been paying attention.
Currently, I'm not using any of the MSP packages.
What are you doing?
Using TeamViewer and manual work.
Working?
Yeah.
Why? What are you doing? Why not? I need more out of you at work, by the way. And maybe I get it if you weren't remoting into people's systems manually. What are you doing? Just slap DSS on there. You got my permission. Well,
I do have DSS
make it
on one. I am using DSS for one client. It's the largest one.
So are you remoting in every month and checking things over, or are you remoting in when they need help, or are you
when they need help mostly?
Mm-hmm.
So for that contractor, they're getting a set amount of hours. And then
it's based on the number of total computers. So many hours per month.
And then if they don't spend those hours that month,
they're lost.
Okay.
If you don't use your hours during the month, they don't accumulate.
And if they go over the hours,
they're charged a discounted hourly rate.
Yeah. So that's kind of what the old shop that Nick and I did. That's kind of what they did, is they would give you so they would offer it in like 4, 6, 10-hour service hours, and then those service hours could be used for whatever, but they were buying them at a discounted rate. I think like 4, you got a 70% discount. 6, you got a 60%, or no, backwards. So 4, you got like the smallest discount on your hours. 6, you got your next, and 10, you got a significant one. So you're like pushing them to get the highest one. But again, the biggest thing that you benefit on is you're not always going to spend that many hours with them, but they have it available to get it at a discounted price. So that's usually why I would start with one of your good contracts that you know, a company that you work with all the time and deal with a lot, is take how many hours you spend on average with them, offer them that as your service contract at a discounted price for them. So they're saving money, even though they're going to use you anyway. They're saving money, and you have something that you can rely on each month, because they might not spend X amount of dollars this month, and then they might spend it next month, and they might go double the month after that. So that's probably your best route to find it out. And yeah, Proctor, any of those tools I think would help automate some of that for you, so that you would just log into a web page instead of each individual computer.
Yeah.
If you were even checking them out to that effect. And maybe you can get more if you offer them preventive maintenance on that, where you're going to actively clean them up every month and delete temp files and maintenance and those kind of things.
Right. Yeah, that's where I use DSS.
Yeah, you could use those for DSS. So, cool. All right, well, there's some options for it. Do we have any more we want to talk about on those points, or how it can benefit?
I do. I always mention, actually I don't always mention, but I did once before, about a guy in the forums, in the old Foolish Tech forums, and he said that he was using it to find, he was giving dSupportSuite away for free on his website, and people would download it and whatever, and he just had one client, generic ID, and basically so it would prompt them to create their own client ID. So when they downloaded the installer, they create a client ID, and then it with the default template, it would email him if one of the automated virus scans that it uses Windows Defender and A2CMD, it's capable of, or anything Viper, anything really that's I don't know about Viper. It might need a thing for that, but maybe not. Actually, no, not because they fixed that. But Viper, anything you can automate via command line, and so the guy was running this stuff, and he was using the error levels returned by A2CMD and Windows Defender to trigger an email to him if an infection was found. So he's giving away the tool. So that long-winded thing, I'm sorry. So he's giving away the tool for free. And when he gets an email about an infection, he contacts the number, the person, and it's not on the website either. He's having to do it manually because of a technical limitation. But I remember now, and the website thing is one thing that I need to make possible in the next version. Yeah, that was the issue. But he's manually giving it away for free and installing it for people and creating client IDs. But what he is doing is when he gets the he wanted to do the website thing. I was like, oh God, that sounds awesome. We need to do that. But they get a call. No, we're not into that. But they get but you know, they get the virus and then they contact the person, and the customer gets the email too. They get the alert too, so they're prepared for the call. You know. So then the tech will contact them and say, you got an infection.
Yeah, that is a good way to do
that. And they go, okay, how much is this going to cost? I guess I don't know how he proceeds from there. I thought that was the most slick thing I'd ever heard, and the first thing I want to do is get that. That's the first feature I want to make possible, is that you can't have a client download it from your website and then create a client ID. It's not going to work. I forget the limitation, but basically you're giving the customer way too much power. Yeah. If you do that, you give them power over creating any arbitrary number of accounts they want to. So, and you can disable every one of them. They can just keep making new ones or something. I don't know, but you don't want to do that. We gotta fix that.
Okay. So Guest points out that there was an article on MSP Mentor where ConnectWise noted that they were going to merge their family of products, which includes remote monitoring through Screen Connect and management software, LabTech, and put it together as a single product. And that was just from a couple days ago, November 13th of this year. So it sounds like maybe they do have plans of integrating them and all, and maybe ConnectWise does consider LabTech under their umbrella. Just from what we were able to research, though, it looks like they're just a capital stakeholder.
Yeah, a stakeholder, an investor. That can carry a lot of weight, though.
Yeah. They don't actually.
And besides the fact that what they're actually doing is going to be good for LabTech, so why would that be an issue with them?
Yeah.
It's all going to be good for LabTech, so it's probably, if they're saying, if it looks like it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah. So that will be cool that ConnectWise is integrating that more.
That would be cool. Now we got to do more and step up our game. Now I just want to integrate with LabTech and ConnectWise, and I'm not ConnectWise. I'm Screen Connect or whatever. Well, they got the toolbox. You just do whatever with Screen Connect. It doesn't matter. You don't need a customized integration. But it's not necessary. You just that's what their toolbox does. But yeah. LabTech, though, through that guy's plugins, like the Uninstaller plugin, yeah. I'm looking for a D7X plugin for LabTech. Because, by the way, people, D7X will have scripting capabilities like D7 and D7.2 do not.
Big change. Very nice change there.
Okay. There's some big promises. Better go get on it. So are we about done here? 5 minutes?
I think we are. I think we covered a lot of good stuff on RMM and how to help it improve your business from it. So cool deal. We will be
I
back.
love that bit, man. I just want to reiterate that guy give it away for free, and he and the customer gets the alert, and he just steps in and says, "I need to remove this malware." He has it configured. I didn't clarify. He has the scans configured not to remove anything. They're just scans because you don't want to do damage to a system by removing something that might be legitimate and infected. So technically, that's always a good idea. And this is just a great idea. This is not a shyster kind of thing. It's a good idea for everyone involved. And I just wanted to reiterate that. That's anyway. Because what you just said, Brantley, that this is how you can actually use this to help you make money, and grow your business, and not just how to do something arbitrary.
The only timeline we have for our integrations is in the future.
In the future. Oh wow, we've been getting that question. Was integrations?
He said, or they said, do you have a timeline for your integrations? I'm assuming with your LabTech plugin and.
Oh yeah. Well, we actually have to come out with the software first, but yeah. No, Tim at Squatting Dog Development is basically. I mean, he's got other things going on too, but basically, I've already talked with him, and when the time comes to make a plugin to at least to integrate D7X through LabTech or whatever, he's ready to get on it. So that'll probably be his domain. He's ready to get on it, so I told him that I would work with him on that. So he can do that, and we do this, and life is life.
So, in the future. But yeah, otherwise, tomorrow we'll have a show on follow-up for PC Repair Tracker and how to go ahead and use D7.2 with that, and Proctor's going to be taking that on. Do you have any extra notes you want to add on to that, Proctor?
Not at the moment.
And then Friday we're going to have our router purchase options overview review. So looking forward to that. And otherwise, hope everyone's had a good half of their week so far, and thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Bye, Internet.
Later, Internet.